Now 5:05, I would like to officially start our meeting. And good evening, everyone. My name is Ayabami Bell Torrance, and I am the Outreach Manager for DDOT. And we are excited to have you tonight for our first community input meeting of the new year. I would like to thank you for joining us, and of course, a special welcome for anyone who's joined us for the first time. Before I go any further, I would like to turn over to our Executive Director of Transit, Mr. Kramer.
Hello, happy cold Thursday, everyone. Good afternoon. As always, I want to, I appreciate everyone taking the time to log in and hear from us and to let us know what we can do, what we're doing good, what we're doing not so great, and where we can improve, and ideas and suggestions and feedback. It is really important for us to continue to do that. And so I do really want to, again, thank everyone for taking time out of your days to do this. As I can only do once a year, I'll wish everyone a happy new year and hope everyone is healthy. Hope everyone in their family is healthy in the new year. And despite the fact that it is dangerously cold outside, just really optimistic and excited about the year to come. And, I know that on behalf of our new mayor, Mary Sheffield, she has already signaled in her campaign and even in just her first couple of weeks in office how important it is for us to have safe and reliable service and really focusing on a positive customer experience. So those are things that we are happy and excited to continue to build on. And this is an important part of that, is to hear all of your feedback and experiences. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Ayabami and for the presentation, and then certainly interested to hear everyone's feedback after that. So thank you.
Thank you so much. In time now for our meeting rules, which are pretty simple. We just ask that you please respect everyone in the meeting by no personal attacks or foul language. They won't be tolerated. That's verbally or in the chat. And as always, the chat will be open following our presentation. We do ask that you please respect the time limit that we have during public comments, which is 2 minutes, as you may be muted for going over. As you know, by participating in the Zoom meeting, you are granting permission for your name, image, and likeness, as well as audio and video recordings to be used by DDOT. During the public comment period, you can use the raise hand feature to be called upon to speak. If you are using the dial-in only phone option, you would simply enter *9, and that serves as the raise hand feature to request to speak or ask a question. You can submit questions or comment to DDOT staff in the chat. Before asking a question or commenting, please be sure to unmute your audio. You state your name and any organization that you're representing. And following your comments, again, please mute your audio. I'm going to start off tonight with the January service changes. Effective Monday, January 26th, the midday frequency reductions, and these are in minutes. I will read them because I know everyone may not be viewing the screen at this time. So I'm going to start with the one burner. The current weekday daytime routes is 30 minutes. Starting on the 26th, the weekday daytime AM and PM peak will be 30 minutes with the midday base of 45. Moving to the 3 Grand River, the current weekday daytime service is 10. With the change, the weekday daytime AM and PM peak will be 10 minutes and the midday base of 12 minutes. For the 6th the Gratiot, the current weekday daytime service is 15 minutes, and that will remain the same, but the midday base will be 20 minutes. For the 7 mile, again, the current weekday daytime is 15, for AM and PM will be 15 minutes also, with a midday peak base of 20 minutes. Moving to the 9 Jefferson, the current weekday daytime service is 10 minutes, and that will be remain 10 minutes for AM and PM with a midday base for 12 minutes. The 10 Greenfield, the current weekday daytime service is 15 minutes. The AM and PM peak will continue to be 15 minutes, will be 15 minutes, and the midday base of 20 minutes. The 16 Dexter, the current midday daytime service is 15 minutes. The weekday daytime AM and PM peak will be 15 minutes and the midday base 20 minutes. For the 17 8 Mile, the current weekday daytime service is 20 minutes. The AM and PM peak will now be 20 minutes and the midday base will be 25 minutes. And lastly, the 32 McNichols, the current weekday daytime service is 30 minutes. The weekday daytime AM and PM peak will now be 30 minutes, but the midday base will be 35 minutes. And that is all effective 26. And many of you were aware, and we thank you for attending our public hearing. Also, to please note, if you weren't aware, with these changes, DDOT will have more vehicles on hand for the early afternoon. You may see increased afternoon on-time performance. Can better prepare for the addition of PM peak runs for mid-afternoon. So these were the reasons behind these changes. These changes are a temporary measure for most of the routes listed to stabilize reliability. Please notify customer service at 313-933-1300 if you observe any overcrowding as a result of the reduced service frequencies. And also effective January 26th is the Dexter reroute. Now, the current routing is via Livernois, Puritan, and Belden. Effective on the 26th, the routing will be via Livernois, McNichols, Fairfield, Puritan, and Belden. And if you didn't know, this is a reversal of the June 2025 routing change. And you can see the reroute on our screen, which we'll leave up just for a moment. Okay, turning to the Local Advisory Council, we have some updates tonight from the LAC. They are actually recruiting members to fill is District 2. It's a vacant seat right now. So if you're interested in applying or know someone who would be a valuable addition to the council, you can download an application from our website or contact the ADA coordinator directly. That's 313-316-2793. Completed applications should be emailed to title6@detroitmi.gov, or you can mail it, attention, Office of Compliance, Department of Transportation, 100 Mack Avenue, Detroit 48201. And a reminder for the 2026 is that the LAC meetings will take place once a quarter on the third Tuesday of the month at noon. Now, this is a change from the previous time of 10 a.m. The LAC will meet at noon on the following dates this year, starting with Tuesday, February 17th, to Tuesday, May 19th, August 18th, and November 17th. And all those dates are also available on the website. Again, just a reminder in case you didn't know that, so that you have that information. And speaking of meetings, as mentioned, the next virtual meeting that we will be having is the LAC meeting, which again is the February 17th at noon. And then our next virtual community input meeting will be Thursday, February 9th at 5 p.m. Now, we have some important updates to bring you regarding the code of conduct, and that will be presented by our chief of staff. And I believe she is on, and we're going to go ahead and turn it over to her. Ms. Whitfield. We'll have the slides up just momentarily.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I hope you are all staying warm. Yes, it's extremely cold out. I just wanted to reiterate that, and I appreciate everyone joining the call. Next slide. So for those that may be new, just to give you a little bit of background and to reiterate, the Code of Conduct is a list of expectations for DDOT customers that allows us to ensure the best possible experience for everyone. The Code of Conduct will allow us to conduct all customers that will use our services and facilities and make sure that they are, or that we are applying all of the same rules and regulations across the board to be fair. And just to give you a little bit of background in case you missed the previous presentation that was done last year around May, we put together a previous presentation, which was the very first draft. And just so those that may have missed it understand, the code of conduct was a two-part process. So the first part of the process was that we had to pass a ordinance, which has already been done, and that process went through city council and received approval. And so now we are actually going through the process of having to present the policy, and that will have to go before city council. And so right now we are just presenting as a FYI and making sure that we are being transparent to the community, the actual policy that will allow us to enforce the rules and regulation, in which we will be enforcing that. But we wanted to make sure that we came to the community. And so back in May, we presented that draft to our community input meeting. And there were some concerns that were brought up at that time. And so this presentation now is our way of showing you that we have made some changes. We do understand the concerns that you have. We listened and we have made those updates. And so we want to show you that we have made those adjustments. This is that presentation. And then once we go through that, we will be moving forward with submitting that policy to city council. And then once that's passed, we can start hopefully making sure that we are following our most important thing, which is our mission, which is to make sure that we are doing one, making sure we're promoting the safety and comfort of our riders, protecting the transit facility and its employees, facilitating the proper use of transit facilities and services, assuring the payment of fares, and then making sure that we're ensuring our DDOT vehicles and facilities are safe, welcoming, and also provide equitable access for everyone. Next slide. Okay, so we've made some adjustments to the definitions that were in the previous draft, and it's really important that we make sure you're clear on those. So these are some of the most important ones. So order stay is a temporary suspension of the enforcement of a previously issued order. A direct threat would be a significant risk to the health or safety of others that cannot be eliminated by a modification of policies, practices, procedures, or by the provision of auxiliary aids or services. Open carry would be carrying a firearm in public as long as a person is carrying the firearm with lawful intent and the firearm is not concealed. And then most importantly is the term that we've put in as prohibited weapons, which would be the items that are illegal to possess or transport as applicable, including any of the distributed list of items that we've already posted at our DDOT facilities. So if any of you have been able to visit Jason Hargrove or Rosa Parks Transit Center, our safety and marketing team have already been on putting up posters all over, as well as distributing various marketing materials to make sure that it's very clear what can and cannot be brought in and what will be considered a prohibited item. So we already have provided that to you. And so based on that, we've made sure to include that in the policy just to make sure that everything is concise. There is a little caveat from legal because there are certain items in regards to what would and wouldn't be considered illegal if you have, of course, your valid concealed pistol license, what would and wouldn't be considered an exception. And so in the policy that would be listed based on the MCL that's listed there. Next slide. So there are some adjustments that were made based on some of the concerns that were mentioned before to level 1 and level 2 inappropriate conduct. But for the most part, things have stayed the same. We have made some adjustments to make sure that things aren't escalating inappropriately for things like consuming food or loud music. Those would still be considered an inappropriate level 1 conduct. Passengers that would engage in things like smoking, vaping, interfering with the bus driver, those would be a level 1 inappropriate conduct. And engaging in that type of conduct usually would just receive a first warning from the bus driver, and it may lead to something such as being asked to leave the bus or the facility. Now, if they refuse to leave, then of course that could result in something such as being asked to be removed. And depending on the behavior or the escalation, we may require our partners to get involved. But in general, we're hoping for a peaceful resolution in which we may just ask them to leave. A level 2 inappropriate conduct, of course, would be something much more severe, which would be fighting, assault, carrying a dangerous or prohibited item, or any type of disruptive or threatening behavior. Those are the things that we would be, of course, a bit more cautious and concerned with. Drug use, alcohol, and sexual harassment. Those types of behaviors would compromise the health, safety, and welfare of the public, and they would be asked to immediately be excluded from the DDOT services. Next slide. So one of the things that was brought up in the previous meeting was the fact that we did not have a very clear way of determining the length of an infraction and being able to decide how and how long penalties would be provided to individuals. So we sat down and looked at some of the other ways that other departments may provide, or excuse me, other transit agencies may be providing the same type of situations. And we came up with something that we feel is fair. We'll definitely review this upon the discussion. But for now, based on an individual that doesn't have a previous violation, we're hoping to provide a level 1 infraction to them, which would be a warning. And that's what we've discussed before. One of the things that was valid and brought up is in this community, we don't want to just hand out, random violations that could lead to, people being locked up or just randomly providing unnecessary, infractions to the individuals in our community. We are trying to find peaceful resolutions if at all possible. That would be our number one goal, is just to make sure we can de-escalate. But if not, and a warning is something that we are not capable of doing due to the severity of the individual, because their behavior would be a compromise to the health, safety, or welfare of the public, then of course there's going to be an immediate removal from a bus stop or facility. Now, if we get to the point where it's now a pattern and there is a level 1 infraction that has already been provided to the individual, and now we have escalated to the point where it has happened again, then the infraction would increase to a period where it's now applicable that that individual will be excluded for a period of 7 days. And that will continue to be multiplied for every incurred subsequent level 1 infraction. So again, if we're talking, this person has had a level 1 infraction already added to, their record, and then they come back and do again another level 1, then they would get another 7 days. And so a level 1, just to reiterate, is something that does not become a concern where it would compromise the health, safety, and welfare of the public. And so that was in the previous slide that we discussed before. Now, if we're talking about a level 2 infraction, now that is something that's more severe, as we talked about in the previous slide, which can be something that is concerning to the health, safety, and welfare of the public, then they would be incurring a 14-day exclusion. And so also based on that and how severe it is, then, they could also be subject to a permanent exclusion order. And of course, that would be contingent upon how severe it is. If they severely hurt someone, sexual assault, it could be, if it's something illegal, if it's something that has to be escalated to DPD, and it will be determined at that time. Next slide. Okay, so we pretty much explained this. If there's repeat incidents or serious inappropriate conduct that have been identified, the director or their identified designee will have to write an exclusion letter to the individual. That letter, of course, will explain all of the information, the duration, the conditions, and then it will also detail their right to an appeal. The staff and law enforcement will be informed of the exclusion. We do want to make sure that it's very clear, because that was brought up before, that a person will not be removed or excluded from the transit services because of their behavior that may be related to a disability, as long as that behavior does not pose a direct threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the community. That is very important. We do not and will not be removing anyone because of their disability. And we do have partners with DPD that have been made very clear. They have had extensive training, and our team is working on making sure that they are receiving the correct training to help identify and de-escalate situations in which that may be something that can be incurred or will be a part of these situations that may happen. Next slide. Okay, so we did talk about briefly before, and just for those that are not aware, there is an appeals process that people have the opportunity to take advantage of to make sure that is fair in case they feel that they were unjustly awarded an exclusion. And so we did make an update. Previously, the appeals process was set in calendar days, in business days, which of course pushed that out much longer. And so we've made some adjustments to calendar days to shorten the time frame. And so individuals are allowed now to send an exclusion appeal in writing to the director. We've also shortened it from 21 days down to 14. Next slide. We did keep the appeals board the same, and the appeals board is made up of the chief safety officer or their designee, the chief of police transit unit or their designee, one member from the law department, and then there will be 2 citizen members from the individual district selected city council. The appeal and hearing will be conducted not less than 10, but not more than 30 days. Again, that's calendar days, so that it's a shorter period after the director or the designee's decision has been properly served. At the hearing, the individual will have 30 minutes to provide a statement, present any relevant evidence or witnesses to support their appeal, and then within 30 calendar days, we'll make sure that they receive their reverse or their decision. Next slide. Now, something else new that was added in because there were some concerns about how the board was, put together. Again, as another layer to make sure that we are being fair, an individual that may be aggrieved by the decision of our appeals board can also appeal to the Department of Appeals and Hearings. We've put all of that information as well as that procedure into our policy to make sure that you have a fair opportunity to reach out to them, and they will do their fair and due diligence and process that is written and set up based on their governing decision. And the process for that will be ruled and controlled to the extent of the conflict based on their proceedings. To appeal to them, you'll have to file no later than 21 calendar days after the service of the Exclusion Appeals Board decision. And then the materials will need to be sent either to the email address with all the documents, the case number, and the subject line, or to the mailing address. But all of that information, of course, is included in the policy, and we will make sure that it'll be readily available for distribution. Next slide. So another new thing that we added into the policy is there was a question that was raised about how long is the length of an exclusion order. So we put in a 2-year max, that if an exclusion order has been put into an effect for more than 2 years for something egregious, then an individual can apply to DDOT to ask for that exclusion order to be put aside. There is a process that they would need to follow, which is essentially pretty similar to the appeals process. They would go through a hearing. They would have about 30 minutes. They would need to provide their documentation and provide a statement, evidence, etc. And then there will be a decision that's given. Next slide. So this is just a continuation to just make sure that people understand DPD may be called if there's an individual that's subject to criminal, civil penalties, arrest, monetary fines, etc. But we just want to again reiterate that DPD will do their due diligence as our partners to connect individuals with their mental health or homelessness teams to explore available resources Although this is not a formal requirement or policy, that is their current practice. And they have been going above and beyond, especially recently, to make sure that they have been diligent partners in trying to do so. Next slide. So these are two, this is another additional miscellaneous matter that we also took note of. There were questions regarding the communication matters. So we wanted to make sure that we were very clear regarding how we would get notices out. If it's an individual that's a minor, we will make sure that we're serving the individual with care to their resident. And if it's a known resident, then of course that will be delivered to the individual's address as known by VDOT, which will be delivering it personally, or we'll be sending a notice via certified mail. If it's an unknown address to us, then of course we'll be either posting it at the 3 locations that we have listed below to make sure that it's there. Next slide. The last thing that was brought up was making sure that representation could be allowed. And so we just wanted to confirm and put that in the policy that of course representation is allowed as long as individuals understand that it will be at their own expense. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that. With that, we can go straight into our public comments in case anyone has any comments on that or any other input that you'd like to bring tonight. So, turn over to our colleague, Kristen, and I'll pull up the timer as well.
While Ayobami gets the timer up, the first hand up is a phone number ending in 169.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, great. God is good. Thank each and every one of you for praying for Brother Cunningham. Any creative ideas come from the Holy Spirit. Any extra zeal or energy comes from the Holy Spirit. Any power comes from the Holy Spirit. And I agree with Cunningham. DDOT needs more Wi-Fi on the old buses and the new buses. I agree with Cunningham. Every bus needs phone charger port installed, fixed, or repaired. Find a sponsor, you, and yes, you, listening. Stop hating on Cunningham. But the Comforter, who is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. And that quote was made by John in the Bible, chapter 14, verse 26. Thank you for my time.
Thank you. Mr. Verse, yours is the next hand up. Mr. Verse, are you able to unmute?
I'm supposed to be unmuted.
There you go. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. I hope you all have a good year, better year than last year. I do have some significant problems with that code of conduct thing, so I'm asking, still open for comments. And beyond that, I will make my comments at the public hearing whenever y'all get around to it. However, my primary concern at this time is paratransit. I think paratransit is paying way too much, too often, and it's absolutely ridiculous that they should have to pay $2.50 one way. In other words, to go to the doctor and come back, it's going to cost $5. When I get on the bus, and it's only going to cost me 50 cents if I can do it within 4 hours. That's like economic discrimination. I know you're going to say, well, we don't do that. That's the carrier. But you do the scheduling. You're in charge. You should take it in-house. And considering the millions that was spent, You could have set it up and been done with it 2 years ago. Thank you. Oh, and if I have an afterthought, remember Cunningham on his birthday, the 26th of January. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you. The next hand up is a phone number ending in 790. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, how you doing?
Oh, there you go. Go ahead.
Yes, how you all doing?
We're doing great, thank you.
Hello?
We're doing great, thank you.
Yes. Yes, my name is Jackie, and I'm just calling and concerned about the Dexter bus and other buses, the bus stops. I want to know, why are the bus stops so far apart? Like, I stay on like Dexter and Humphreys by Lawrence, and the bus stop is like right here, like at Lawrence, and then the next one is all the way at Elmhurst, and it's just like a lot of the bus stops are just like really far apart, like 5 and 6, 10 blocks apart. It's really ridiculous. And then I also want to know if the 8 Mile bus can possibly go to the Sam's Club on 8 Mile, because some of us do go to Sam's Club and, you know, have a little buggy thing. So I'm just asking. But my main concern is about the bus stops being so far apart now. Have to walk a whole lot of blocks just to get to the next one.
You want me to comment on this?
Sure, Steve. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, so you're concerned about that the Humphrey stop and the Elmhurst stop on Dexter are too far apart. We can take a look at that, but generally, it depends how long the blocks are. In some places, it's more blocks, and in some places, it's fewer blocks between bus stops. And the 8 Mile bus to Sam's Club, do you mean the Sam's Club on John R. and 13 Mile?
No, there's a Sam's Club. It's on the north side of 8 Mile, just before Telegraph. At least I'm assuming that's what she's asking for.
Yeah, the one on 8 Mile that's past Lasher, because I caught the 8 Mile bus thinking that I was about to get dropped off at Sam's Club, and they stopped at Lasher, and I'm disabled. I had to walk all the way down to Sam's Club.
Right.
I'm like, really?
It's about it's maybe a quarter mile farther west from Lasser. It's on the north. It's in Southfield. It's on the north side of the street.
Yeah.
And so you're not actually asking to go into Sam's Club, but you obviously want to stop where you don't have to get out. That's not a great place to walk either. You're kind of right along 8 Mile there.
Yeah, there's nowhere to cross the street either. We can take a look at that, but also we would need an end of line somewhere, because we wouldn't be able to go to 7 Mile and where the end of the line is now. Yeah, but okay, and also that section of 7 Mile will lose service between Lasser and Telegraph. So that would be also something we'd have to consider.
Okay, thank you. But a lot of bus stops are like really far apart now. Like they've taken down some of the old bus stops, and it's like you really, just like on Grand River and where the Myers at, there used to be a bus stop right there in front of the Dollar Tree. Now it's like further down. It's just crazy. But if y'all could just make the bus stops a little shorter, you know, because we really have to be walking like far to get to the next bus stop. But thank you for
just like you told the one on Dexter. We'll look at that one. And but if it is a place where they used to have bus stops, it might have something to do with the streetscape project. So Where they built up.
Yeah, we'll take a look though, and we'll look at the Sam's Club as well.
Okay, and thank y'all for letting sending the Dexter bus to Myers. Thank y'all. But
You're
thank
welcome.
y'all for letting me speak. Thank you. Have a happy New Year.
Thanks for letting us know.
Bye bye.
Okay, Peaches, you're the next hand up. Peaches, are you able to unmute?
Yes. Hello?
There you are. Go ahead with your comment.
Yes. First of all, Happy New Year. And thank you to Renard, Michelle, and Brother Cunningham as well. Now, moving on. First of all, when you first came on, you suggested a phone number that people call when they have a complaint. First of all, who are the operators that are answering these phones? Because nobody is answering to listen to people complain. We get no call back. And also, who's tracking these buses and these bus routes? Because nothing has been really necessarily fixed as far as the Dexter. Because I live on Boston and Dexter. I ride the bus. And I'm not seeing too many changes in the Dexter. And like that lady said about the bus stops, well, who do they protect? Because people still can come past me and splash me up with mud and water. Those shelters that they put up, that's just a waste of money. Because I don't feel like those shelters are put up correctly. And when I asked about why they're not put up correctly, they keep saying, oh, we're going to send somebody out to look at them. Nothing's been done about the Dexter. And I understand you all are busy Detroiters, but I feel like some of you that are on this staff and on this board need to come out and ride these buses and get the feel of what people are doing. Like Brother Cunningham, he has a program. He constantly out there getting people to come along and do ride-alongs. You all should come along and join and ride along too. Because if you had this particular problem in your neighborhood, I'm quite certain that you would want it to be fixed. Thank you.
Excuse me, Peaches, are you talking about the new bus stops on shelters on the boarding islands?
Yes, on Dexter. Those are not protected anybody. I ride the bus and people still come past me and splash me with water, mud, this snow stuff, this slushy stuff. I got splashed today while I was waiting on the bus to come here down to the People's Platform, which we're located on Virginia Park, 801. What is this with address? Yeah. So I come down here today to the meeting while I was waiting on Dexter bus to bring me here. I got splashed because the shelter is not a protection.
Yeah. Is there also like puddles of water around the shelter?
There's like ice. People drive fast. They come past you. They splash you. They never clean up right. They that new shelter where they got the little island there before you get up to Davidson Dexter.
Adjusting the drain system to drain
So something needs to be adjusted.
I mean, it's brand new.
By the new recreation center right there in the front. There's a shelter right there across the street. You just standing there waiting on the bus. Really, is no thing there. There's no protection there.
Jenny, you've got your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to say, Ms. Peaches, we're going to take a look at it. So just so you're clear, right now, the aesthetic of the shelters have all been created to be standardized, but we will definitely take a look at this and see what can be done. So we do apologize about you being splashed, but definitely taking a look and making a note. We're so sorry.
And I would love for one of y'all to come out and just stand with me one day on the Dexter bus route, and you all get to see what it's like actually being out there. Don't just tell me you will do it. I want y'all to be about it and witness it and experience it like we do. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's how you get to a point.
Thank you.
Thank
Renard, you're up next.
All right, hello. Can I be heard?
Here you go ahead.
Speak. All right, my name is Bernard with the Detroit People's Platform organizer, and I got some folks here today from community to ride the bus. So I'm really thankful to my team members and Cunningham for inviting folks. But let's get to the business here. In terms of what y'all proposing for the exclusion policy, can y'all let us know when there's a public hearing at City Council? Because if people know that they're going to be kicked off a DDOT property for 30, 60, or 90 days at a time, I'm concerned about how someone would get to the hearing, and then the fact that the hearing is stacked with people that's with the department. So let's say somebody's robbing a bank and you go to trial, the judge is a banker. You get what I'm saying? That's a conflict of interest. Most tribunals or some sort of committees have people that are trained by the American, the name is leaving me right now, but it's like a Administrative Procedure Act. And the people that lead these type of quasi judicial tribunals, and that's just plain speak for an almost court or a court, or DDOT court, it should be staffed by neutral staffers that are trained in the Administrative Procedures Act. That way that the judgments are fair. And I wanted to know if someone is, sentenced under this structure, are they going to get a record that will prevent them from getting a job or even getting their life back together? Because we have all these punishments, but we have no way for people to get back up when they're rehabilitated. And if they're going to be on trial at DDOT, how are they going to get there if they don't have the bus? Are they going to go on Zoom where there's a digital divide in the city of Detroit? Can they call in on the phone? Is the hearing going to be during work hours or times that person can get on there? So these are things that the city council should deliberate and add to the policy, because I have serious concerns about a trial being held by the people that are affected by it. It should be a neutral tribunal. Thank you.
See both Jenny and Corey hands up.
Hey, just wanted to tell you, we're gonna just listen today, so we're not making any comments, because legal, wasn't able to make it today. So we're taking note of all of the responses. The only one that I did wanna just put on record right now, just so we're clear, you did ask one question regarding a record. The only thing that I do want to make a statement of, because legal already made this, is that if they do something that is illegal, to the point where DPD has to be involved, and it has to be handled in a criminal manner, then of course that would be outside of DDOT's hands. But as far as if we're just asking them to be removed from, our premises and telling them they cannot ride the bus for like a level 1 infraction, et cetera, no, they're not going to have a record. But if we're talking about they're actually doing something that is illegal, where we have to contact DPD, and it is against the law and it has to be handled in that manner, then that, again, if it's being handled by DPD, that's something separate. But we will make sure that we are taking notes of all of these things. And should we choose to move forward with this policy as is, before it's brought back again to you, then all of these things will be able to be addressed at the public hearing. So thank you so much, Renard, for your questions. And we will make sure that at the public hearing, you guys will have the opportunity to speak.
Really appreciate the response. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks for being here.
And just to echo what Jenny just said, I think everyone's going to have an ample opportunity to, understand in this new leadership and our team, we're extremely fair and open to ideas. So I just want to say, Renard, to your point, if you look at the beginning line, we'll start with operations. It's a total independent department as it relates to safety and training and things of that nature. Everybody's independent. And so the process, I can assure you, is going to be very fair based on how it's set up.
Thank you. Cunningham, you're next. Cunningham?
There was a note in the chat.
313.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
49114. 313-444-9114. That number was made so you can remember it. That's my Cash App and my hotline number. So Mr. Renard, Ms. Rochella, and myself, there's a hybrid at the Detroit People's Platform Transit Justice Team building. I think it's like 7, 8 people in the room. Hallelujah, God. The pizza's in the house. Pepsi and Sprite is in the house. Bus tickets are in the house. So we unified on that, and we got some new voices. Everybody's tired of hearing the same old voices. I really think that there should be more plugs on the old buses and the new buses. If they install plugs, also Wi-Fi on the old buses and the new buses. And out in the terminal area at Hargrove and Rosa Parks, they need more plugs to charge phones. They have Wi-Fi, COD, City of Detroit Wi-Fi. They have that, but they need places to charge up their phone out in the bays and in the buildings. I notice where I park sometimes downtown and 6 Woodward, 7 and Woodward, up and down Grand River. Drivers don't let people with bags of bottles get on the coaches. Also, people that speak to me have to use my taxi service because they have a scooter, like the little 2-wheel scooter, very small, that folds up. A gentleman has breathing problems, and so he can't walk up to the stop, and he can't afford the $2.50 for paratransit, and he's going to work. And he's been refused, and I've witnessed it, SMART and DDOT. Will anybody respond? And Miss Jenny, do you got any more bus tickets?
I can respond to. Go ahead, Jenny.
Okay. So a couple things. I can respond to the charter and I can respond to the bus tickets. So when you're talking about bus tickets, are you asking, are you able to go down and get some more as we've set up, or are you asking, can I provide some to you for free?
You've hooked me up in the past with those 7-day tickets. Oh, the white ones.
Okay, so I do have a few on hand, and I do appreciate all that you've been doing for the community. So I may be able to get you a couple to say thank you, especially for the new year, as a one-time courtesy. Now, in
I don't know
regards
if
to
y'all heard, but I got busted in the eye downtown with no police around on Tuesday, I think it was, and there was no police I could find at Rose Park Transit Center. I was
so
giving out bus
sorry.
tickets and hand warmers.
When was this? Okay, so that's just something off. Please give me a call. Let's talk about that, because I want to get the information and make sure that that's addressed with DPD, because that shouldn't have happened. So please give me a call after this call. But yeah, we'll talk about the tickets off of this call. As far as the charger, myself and my executive assistant are looking into options for that. I don't know, and I cannot make any promises, but we do have a couple options that we have been looking at to try to assist, and I will let you know longer term. Okay, I also have some hand warmers for you here in the office. I just haven't had a chance to see you, but we'll make sure we either get them to you before, or definitely by the next time you go to Rosa Parks Transit Center, they'll be there when you pick up your ticket.
Thank you. James, you're next.
Hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead with your comment.
Okay, my name is James Chandler. I'm a previous write-in candidate for city council. A couple of things. I have it written out. I'm coming before you as a concerned passenger and resident regarding the lack of accessible westbound bus stops along West 8 Mile Road between Mansfield and Lasser Road in Detroit. Currently, there are very few westbound stops on this stretch of 8 Mile, and riders like myself are experiencing serious difficulties as a result. I was informed that a stop exists before Northland Drive. However, buses often do not stop there because there is no visible sign to indicate it. This creates confusion and leaves riders stranded when buses pass us by. We urgently need at least 6 to 10 additional westbound stops along this corridor to ensure fair equal access. At present, there are noticeably more eastbound stops than westbound, which puts westbound riders at a disadvantage. In addition, these stops should be equipped with seating areas and proper bus stop signage. Many riders, including seniors, people with disabilities, and parents with children, are left standing for long periods without shelter or a place to sit, which is unsafe and unfair. Installing benches and clear signs will make these stops more visible to drivers, more comfortable for riders. Public transit is meant to serve the community. Also, I am writing concerned writer of the Detroit Department of Transportation about this 31-day bus pass, which is $70. The prices needs to come down with that. Is it not affordable for a 31-day pass? It's a lot more I have to say. If I could send this in an email. Yep, please share your email. I could just send that to you guys, but that was the gist of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd be happy to review the writing in addition to the notes for this, but thank you for taking the time to tune in and provide that feedback. Steve has his hand up. I don't know, Steve, if you had any follow-up questions you wanted to ask. You're muted, Steve.
Can y'all share your email in the chat, please?
Yes, absolutely.
And this is a regional pass. If you're only riding GDOT, there's a cheaper pass. I can't think right off the top of my head how much it is. I think it's might be like $50-something.
I think that's correct.
As far as 8 Mile goes, on the north side of the street, it's not Detroit, so those streets belong to another city. But we put bus stops on the north side of 8 Mile where there's like a business or a residence or a way to cross to the other side. And if there's no business and no resident and no way to cross to the other side, then putting a bus stop in a certain segment would only encourage people to do something dangerous. So we can, if you have a specific place, now you mentioned the one in Northland Drive, so we can look at that. But if you have other specific locations where you think a stop is warranted, you can let me know what those locations are. But we can't just stick 6 to 8 bus stops arbitrarily on an 8 Mile because, mainly because of pedestrian safety. It's a very difficult street to cross where there's no way to cross, and if there's no businesses or residences to serve there, then and no safe way to cross the street, we probably would not put a bus stop there.
But please share as many specific requests as possible, like Steve mentioned, especially if there's one that seems to be a bus stop but is missing a sign. That one's probably the easiest one of all. But please give us those details and feel free to share in your written comments too.
Thank you.
And it is $50. The DDOT only 31-day pass for full fare is $50. Obviously, that only works on DDOT. It would not work on Smart, but that is a lower price. And the other, I'm keeping up with your chat comments too, Mr. Chandler, but the DDOT buses do not have lights that would require or encourage traffic to stop to allow pedestrians to cross. That is school buses only. And the hazard lights are only for vehicular notifications. They would not make traffic stop to protect pedestrians, which is very important. So, but we'll bus. Oh yes, if we had bus stop signs, the buses would stop. Yes. Send in the your written comments, and we could even set up a follow-up conversation as well, because again, like I said, I appreciate your taking the time to come on and share your feedback and your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Lucas, you're next.
There's not that much time.
We can see you're unmuted, but we don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Go ahead with your comment.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that. New computer, I'm still kind of getting used to. I'm sorry I wasn't able to join you in person. I'm a little under the weather today. The big thing on my mind today is new buses and old buses. What's the status of the replacement of the 1200s with the 25s? How many of the Gilligs are left, and how many of the new hybrids are still on order? What's the status of the electric buses? Because I learned that a couple of those have been delivered recently, and are there orders for for the following grant-supported buses? Have those been placed yet?
Is that all? Is that all of your comments? I can answer all those.
Yeah, it's all for the moment.
Okay. Thank you. Happy New Year.
And to you too.
So our current order for 45 hybrids, we have finally received all of them on property. There's a couple that are still undergoing the inspection and acceptance process. We are having major issues with those buses and the manufacturer New Flyer. We've been comparing notes with the other agencies that took orders from the same line, same contract that we shared, and they too are having a lot of trouble. So our average availability, even though we've got all of them on property, our average availability for those buses is in the low 20s. So I'm not a math major, but that's about 50%, which is really affecting our ability to deliver service every day. We do actually still have a couple 1200s that are in service while we wait for these repairs, but we have weekly meetings, daily calls, and are very frustrated by the defects that are occurring on these buses. And in fact, we're actually working with city legal to start teeing up if there's any recourse we would have, if for no other reason, to make sure that we're not running out of warranty time and we haven't even got the bus on service for more than a few miles. So all 45 are on property on a given day. 20 or 21 are available for service, and all of those, I think there was one bus that was down for something that wasn't New Flyer's fault, and that was someone threw a rock through the window and broke it, and we did not have that unique size of glass in stock because it's not something we have on our current buses. But all of our other issues are with New Flyer. So we're just going to keep chopping on that one. And we have our battery electric bus grant, which included 4 battery electric buses, 2 60-foot articulated, 2 40-foot. Those were all delivered in late December, and we're still in the acceptance process with those. Those are also New Flyer, and it's the same crew that is struggling to make our hybrids work. And so they're not on the top of our list of priorities because we're still owed some manuals and materials and tools for those as well. So that's the story. Not a good story, but other than the fact that at least all 45 are in Detroit, plus the 4 electrics. And so we're going to keep working every angle we can to get those on the road because in most cases they're replacing buses that are well past their useful life. So that's the update on those. And then we're in the process of kind of finalizing our approach. We've got a grant for our next 2 bus purchases. One is to start replacing the 14s, and then the second of those will replace the rest of the 14s and the 15s, if I have my numbers correct. And those buses are on track to be eligible for replacement, but as of today, not all of them are. So the timing is still on track for those. Figuring out either a new competitively bid contract or a piggyback is kind of what we're zeroing in on here in the next couple of weeks probably, and figuring out the first order, and then the next grant hasn't been awarded yet. So as soon as that's awarded, that was the $60 million one. Again, we're setting up to make all of those orders timed out so that the buses will get here as close to the retirement eligibility as possible over the next 12 to 24 months. So I think that answers all of the items had raised, but it's, good news, bad news, but working through it.
I'm sorry to hear that you're going through all those troubles. And I think you did get all my questions. This is the one follow-up I have is when it comes time to replace the 1500 series, since there are, I believe, 10 articulated units in that run, are you planning to replace those with new articulated buses?
I'm 99% sure that our grants we got for the next two replacement orders did not include any articulated buses, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
Okay.
So I'll know the answer next time, and certainly we'll share it. But I don't think that included articulateds, but I will check to make sure.
All right.
Unless if there's any of the staff that knows that that's not true, feel free to correct me now. But otherwise, I'll find the answer.
That's true, Director.
Which is true.
There's no articulated.
Okay. All right. Very good. No articulated, Lucas.
All right. Thanks. I think that is all I had for today.
Very good.
Thank you. Devin, yours is the next hand up.
Yes, good evening. How you doing? My name is Devin Burnley. I'm a new rider to the DDOT system, and I had an experience the other day which was really pleasant, but there was some safety issues and concerns that I had, which was I'm not sure how your budget is set up though, but if there were any way to install heaters and some of the shelters, I think that would be a good investment. And also, I wanted to maybe talk to somebody about putting together a quality team, or not even for myself, but I think that DDOT would really benefit from having a team put together that would really focus on quality and ensuring that the rider is safe and secure. I think that'll cause for a better experience for the rider, and obviously they wouldn't mind paying for it if they felt that they were getting a good quality service. Not to say that it's got to be fair or anything, but of equal value. And let's see here. The cost, I believe, is pretty effective, but my main concern was keeping people safe and warm during the winter. How do you add some type of heated shelters and increase the heat on the bus? And yeah, that's all I really wanted to say for today. Thank you for letting me add my 2 cents.
Thank you. Alfonso, yours is the next hand up.
Kristen, real quick, if I can answer Mr. Devin's question.
Sure.
I think it's important to note that our compliance team often rides the bus and they do quality checks just for those purposes. Ms. Alicia's team does a great job at trying to determine if things are safe, from a compliance standpoint. So I just wanted to let people know that does happen on occasion.
Thanks, Corey. Alfonso, go ahead with your comment.
Good evening. This is Mr. Horton from the Department of Neighborhood under the mayor office. I was glad to see that y'all sent someone out for the Dawn meeting with all the district managers, and we got a lot of input from you guys, and I'm glad to be on this, listen to all the complaints that our residents having with the buses, and I hope they will get some resolved in their complaints. So we are listening to what's going on, and we love to work with DDOT. So thank you very much, and keep up the good work. And keep up the good work, Cunningham.
Thank you. William, your hand is next up. William?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. There you are. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, William Davis. I'm president of the Detroit Active Retired Employee Association, City of Detroit retiree and the formerly elected police commissioner. I was wondering, I know I brought this up at least 6 months ago about the feasibility of City of Detroit retirees being able to ride the bus for free. At least for all City of Detroit retirees to be able to ride the bus for free. I know DDOT retirees can. That should be expanded. And perhaps if I bring that up to our new mayor, she will be in agreement with it. Because I had talked to her in the past, and I gave her a list of things that she should possibly do to help the city of Detroit retirees. So can y'all bring that up, and can y'all see if y'all could do that? I'm sure it wouldn't cost that much, and it would be very helpful because, as you know, the city of Detroit retirees, we have not had our pension cuts restored. We have not had our cost of living restored, and many of us are paying an annuity clawback. So that would be very helpful for y'all to also to advance the idea for City of Detroit retirees, all City of Detroit retirees to ride the bus for free. Also, I know 8 Mile where the Sam's Club is, if you go down a little bit further down, there's a light at Brig. And, like say, that's a little bit past the entrance to Sam's Club. And there's on the right there on the north side, on the south side, there's also a gas station. So that it shouldn't be that difficult to install a couple of bus stops, and that should make it more convenient for more people to utilize that. And the bus should be able to do that. They could always make that turn there, or even if they have to go down further to make the turn at right before Beach Daily. But I think we should be doing more to help our citizens, be able to use the bus correctly and safely. Thank you. No comment?
Sorry, I have pulled back up the map of that Sam's Club. I've got some ideas. It's a really challenging area to figure out how to get people safely to and from that stop and get the bus. The westbound routing is a little bit simpler, but if we're going to hit that on the eastbound trip as well, basically it's going to have to do a big loop-de-loop all the way down again. And figuring out the front door of Sam's Club, getting to that gas station at Berg, that's a long way to go. So we really need to take a look at maybe what our different opportunities would be in that area, how it would affect the route. So I don't want to give any commitments, but it is, we got 2 different people on this call that have mentioned it. And we've got a route that's relatively close at Losser. So it is something that we'll look into. And did make a note of your renewed request for city retirees to ride the bus for free. I know right now city staff, only DDOT employees and their retirees ride the bus for free, and not the city staff at large. I know someone else has brought that up to our attention as well. So if you made a note, certainly we'll be part of the conversation.
Also, as a general note, the chief of police in Southfield used to work for the Detroit Police Department, so he's probably very cooperative. And the mayor in Southfield, he's probably also will be very cooperative.
Indeed, good point. I know they've been pretty good partners for our routing around Northland as well. We have quite a bit of service that goes into the city of Southfield. So yeah, it would be good to maybe see if they have some opinions about making sure that anything we consider would be safe if we could implement it. But thank you.
Thank you for your attention.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Next hand up is Angelita.
Hello, this is Angelita Barnes. Can y'all hear me all right?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come in and talk with the community of Detroit about the transportation issues. And I want to give a shout out real quickly to Mr. Cunningham for bringing me the bus passes. I actually ran into him on accident this morning and he told me about the meeting. So thank you, Mr. Cunningham, again. And I would just like to, it's more of a safety thing because of the homeless situation. I don't know, because that's a tall order for this request, just because of the simple fact the homeless is like housing problem, but they have nowhere to go. You know what I mean? And sometimes they do cause a disturbance on the bus. But some of these homeless people who do have like mental issues, but when they out when it's like a certain day that's raining and it's snowing out, they absolutely don't have anywhere to go to be able to get, just sit down and get a rest. So I don't know who you all would need to get to like maybe open up some more like shelters or day shelters where these homeless people can go, because they are causing a disturbance, but they still human beings for the most part. And I was just wondering about the gentleman that did have that little altercation with the homeless person, because I don't know I know you can't say a lot of things about his case because it's pending and all that other stuff. But hopefully y'all have his back, because nobody deserved to be spit on. Like how he did it, no, but maybe a smack in the face. I would say that's okay, because no one wants to be spit on. You know what I mean? And maybe clean up the buses a little bit, like chip bags and all of that. And then like some of these bus stops need like trash cans.
If you thank you for the comments. Just if you have bus stops in particular that you frequent, that you notice have a lot of trash, feel free to.
Yeah, it's just 8 Mile, along 8 Mile.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of, I've been hearing a lot of 8 Mile and Lasher, because I stay right here on Lasher and
They
8
don't
Mile.
care about 8
So,
Mile.
Man, that 8 Mile last year, that's kind of like the center of the universe.
Yeah.
for this call today.
So I understand, like, the first lady, she said something about the Sam's Club. I think I was trying to go to Walmart, and the bus didn't go that way. And I come from Pontiac, because I work in Pontiac, and it is a smart bus that comes right there to somewhere, like, Telegraph area down
Telegraph
there.
and 8 Mile, yep.
Yeah,
And then you've got D-Dot going to Lasser, and we got it surrounded, but none of them go right in front of the Sam's Club.
Smart bus to go around that area to get to, I think it's 7 Mile and Grand River or whatever. So I don't know how y'all would do that, because it is a dangerous area because of that getting on and off the ramp type thing. You know what I mean? Oh, and can y'all let some of y'all drivers know to slow the fuck down. Excuse my French. I like a little speed, but sometimes they be pushing it. I get it, but
I would say my request would be if you have a driver that you feel is driving unsafely, then please let us know, because we can't. Certainly, yes, we do remind drivers to make sure that they're being safe and follow the speed limit. But if you're having that experience, sometimes it's just one particular driver that has kind of the lead foot. It's good for us to be able to know that, so we can give them that feedback.
I drive like that sometimes too, but I don't know if they was aware of it or not. But it's a couple of them that be they be floating that boy.
Well, again, let us know as much as possible, because if you're driving yourself, that's one thing. But if you're driving a motorhome that has 20 of your friends,
That's my concern, because it's so big, and you might need more time to make it stop.
Okay. And then again, so we'll look at those 8 Mile bus stop areas. As Steve Patrick mentioned earlier, on the north side of 8 Mile is not in the city of Detroit. The south side ones in the city, DPW has been a great department partner of our department in the city as far as adding more and more of the trash cans at stops. So if there's a stop in particular that's on the south side that you come, or anywhere in the city you come across, certainly let us know, and we can kind of put that on their list to add trash cans, because whenever they add one, then we're also emptying. The city is emptying them as well. So I think that's been a really good program.
It's creating a job. It's creating more jobs. Maybe a little overtime for the city to clean it up. But there's trash out there. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been out there a couple times myself, just on my off day, to go out there and pick up the trash and dispose it myself. Like it's bad. Like that. Yes, it's right here on 8 Mile and Lasher, right at that corner. Sometimes I would go out there. I haven't done it this winter because it's wet and all that, but when it was like fall, I was out there cleaning up the bus stops with my own bags, my own gloves, if you get what I'm saying, and disposing that trash on my own.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate that. And thanks again for letting us know the feedback too.
Yep. And I appreciate y'all for listening. And we really, really, really hope y'all do something about some of these issues. It's a tall order for a lot of people. I understand that. But some of these issues need to be taken care of. Please and highly thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Rochella, you're next up.
Well, good evening, everybody. I see everybody been gone, but Christian, Director Kramer, Stephanie, Lindsay.
Here.
Happy New Year to all y'all. But all the questions have been answered because somehow or another I got kicked out before I could get on till the end. But I like all the changes. I know we having problem with the new buses, Mr. Kramer, but we can wait on that. At least we know we got them. It's really nothing to say because everything has been said. But I want everybody to have a blessed and safe evening. I hope I'm the last person who can get off and everybody can get home, or if you're at home, enjoy the rest of your evening. Hello there, Torrance. Miss Torrance. Happy New Year to you also. But I'm going to get off here.
And
Am I
glad
the
you're-
last person?
Miss
Am I
Rochelle,
the last person?
Miss Rochelle, glad that you're feeling better. We were worried about you.
Oh, Lord. You know what? I thought I was going to be dead, y'all. It's a blessing. I'm so glad that I'm here. I am on oxygen now. That's something I've been dreaded for a while now, but I done got to be 67, so at least I done got this old before I get on it. And I don't need it all the time, but at least I got it, so if I'm out and I need it, I can have it. But it's not gonna stop me, y'all. I'll still be out here trying to double D-dot, trying to get housing together and everything. But I want everybody to stay safe, cover your mouths, don't get this flu that's out here, and just be safe. And hopefully we'll see each other when we have our in-person meeting in April. I'm sure that's the day we're going to have it in April, isn't it?
Probably be the March one, I think, right?
The March one, okay. Well, I'll be glad to see you.
We haven't confirmed it.
We'll let everybody know. We know for sure.
Okay. Well,
Thank you, Ms.
everybody
Rochella.
Stay safe, and y'all all have a blessed evening and a good weekend.
Thank you.
All righty.
I think we still have some names though, right?
We have plenty of hands up still.
Okay, that's what I said. Let's keep it going.
In fact, Ms. Marguerite, you're next. I think you said you were back in the chat.
Yes. Happy New Year and very blessed to be here to my question is about the bus stop and some drivers here not put it in close to the curb. And whenever I try my best to explain it to them, some religion and others will not take the time. And there are passengers who will be waiting with me. And when I tell them to wait for the driver to deploy the ramp, they will walk right in front of me. And there is once we are on the bus. The passengers will make stupid comment about my dog, and the bus driver of them will not say anything. But whenever I try my best to make sure that they understand it, it is against the law to interfere with a service dog, period. And when I tell them, do not touch her, do not feed her,
Is her time up yet?
they will ignore me, and
Where's her time longer than everybody else?
whenever I push my worker toward them to defend my
Now, why is her
partner.
time longer than everybody else's?
This is when other passengers will jump in. And
Now, I understand equality.
if you guys ever look up to videotape, because whenever I see something that the drivers are not doing,
Stop it.
I would call, I would text the ADA coordinator
Just write it in the
for
chat.
DDOT, and he will text me back. But do you guys ever look at the videotape? Yes or no? I'm done.
Poor sign language lady.
Thank you.
Poor interpreter. Come on with it, though. Help us out.
Andre, I see your hand up.
Help us out.
Oh, okay.
Ms. Marguerite, I don't know if there's, well, I guess I'll open it up. Is there any staff that knows if we've gotten this video or not?
Yes, Mr. Kramer, and I do apologize. I was having some problems getting my mic on. So good evening, Marjorie. This is Andre Mallet of Operations. First, thank you so much for all your value concerns and feedback. We have definitely noticed an uptick of ADA complaints from our drivers. Everything from not curbing properly to not appropriately identifying service animals. And so we have partnered with our compliance department. We're going to do some additional training. We're going to take every tool in our belt to kind of address these concerns and get the proper resolution. But part of that also is to continue to get your feedback. So at some point, maybe I can exchange information with you, because I think that you could be a valued tool in our efforts at really getting our drivers to understand the reality of how to address our ADA population and clients. And so we do have a pretty young workforce. I'm not trying to put any excuses out there, but reaffirming our policies and the proper procedures as it relates to handling our ADA clients is extremely important. And we do want to kind of continuously re-educate them on the importance of doing it the correct way. So thank you so much. And we will address those concerns, everything from curbing the bus to handling our ADA service animals. And yes, Mr. Rambus, our ADA coordinator, definitely do pull videos. He have shared several with me. We take those videos, we use those tools for training and for corrective action on our employees. So yes, every resource that you provide for us is definitely valuable, and we definitely respect and thank you for it.
Thank you.
I heard that.
Thank you, Miss Marguerite. The next hand up is Steven.
Good evening. I'm gonna go through my bullets pretty quickly. One, make sure that you have press releases distributed to bring news coverage. I'm hoping that every one of our meetings has more than just Citizen Detroit present during the meetings. We need more people than the observers. Well, I also wanted to make mention that, over the summer, I did wind up being pickpocketed on the bus. And I'd sent the email and said the time of day and the bus number and all the other information, and hoped that the footage of the cameras was reviewed. And I don't know if the policy that you have in place actually says that video evidence is admissible as a primary source of information, but I do believe that that is needed. But we need to make sure that the passengers see that there's a code of conduct, that they're entering a space that has a code of conduct. And if they violate it, they will no longer be welcomed. Third on my list is the charging of phones around DDOT property. It's a matter of public safety. And my fourth is that I've asked for audits on things like the USB chargers on the buses, as well as, I do think that when we have a transit center or a major turnaround point, there should be some USB access. If the solar panels on top of our shelters are not functioning to collect energy to power such a charger, I think that those need to be addressed, because I don't find very many of the solar panels seem to be working. The lights aren't on at night. It would be nice to have that. Thank you.
Thank you, Steven.
Kristen, I may be able to help on just the one, the
Please.
USB charging. I did notice on a lot of the new 2025s, we do have quite a bit of charging capability on those buses.
That's great to hear.
Thank you. The next hand up is E. Norwood.
All right, good evening.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. Basically, just to reintroduce myself. I've been a consistent DDOT rider pretty much for a good part of my life, going back like 15 years old. So I'm in there, so I've been riding the bus quite a lot. And plus, I live in the Southwest Detroit district. The main bus route that I live by is about a 19 route, 4th Street. And my concern is, are we any closer to having the DDOT having the wait times for 4th Street being reduced back to hopefully 35 minutes instead of 50 minutes at a time? Simply, well, for one, especially because it's winter and it's cold, obviously. And this is what I was kind of lobbying for back in the fall when I was at a couple of these virtual meetings, as well as several emails, because the service at that time really needed to improve, just because there were a couple of buses missing. But now, at least I can say that somewhat getting a little better, that they're more on time with it, but still 50 minutes though, that's a little hard. And it needs more frequency on that. It really does. Again, especially because of the fact that it's winter now. But just being a reduced fare rider, 50 minutes for a bus really is kind of difficult. Simply because you might have important things to do or to connect to in times of the essence and everything. And it just is. But I'm hoping we're a little better on that. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. Thank you for your thoughts. Next hand up is Nichelle.
Hi. How are you?
Well, go ahead with your comment. Hi.
All right, so I was gonna address the same about today with the buses. I ride the bus today and it was really, really cold. My feet almost got frostbitten. And the Connors bus and the Chalmers bus basically only got two buses on the line, period. A lot of times when I get off work, coming from down in Roseville or whatever, I have to walk all the way from Connors all the way down. And today they were really horrible. The young lady, she was late. She stopped at the gas station. She got her something and she got back on the bus and she stayed down there on St. James for a long time. So anyway, that's one thing. The dirt, they mentioned the dirt. The buses are dirty. Bus drivers are leaving passengers. They either going too coming too early past the time you guys got on the list, or they running behind. And y'all need, like I said, more buses on Connors and Chalmers. Bus stops on Jefferson was meeting the smart bus, since a lot of senior citizens get off the smart bus to get on the Jefferson bus, and they have to walk that little way to get on there. And let's see, making connections, buses making connections. So when you get off the one bus, say I get on the Connors bus, I'm able to get right on the Gratiot bus. You guys don't do that. They used to do that back in the day. And then it was feces at the bus stop where somebody boo-booed inside the bus booth. And then my one of the suggestions, I was like, maybe y'all should have a bus like downtown, like a cheese bus, which is a warmer bus where people can get on while they waiting on their bus in the time of the cold weather. Because today was like hideous. My feet were so froze. I cried today, literally. And I did make a complaint, but she said, get on here and maybe pass out like the guy said, the hot hands, or, something to help the people, because you got homeless people catching the bus. You got senior citizens catching the bus, and it was really cold today. And you also had the people that they don't have a car, but they was handicapped. And that guy, we stood out there like 3 hours. I missed going to work because no bus never came, period. So yeah, those are things that need to be addressed. And like I said, maybe get a warmer bus to sit on cold days where people can get on and wait on their bus. And you could do it, maybe a security check or whatever, or something like, to make sure no firearms or anything or weapons on there. And, address and say, hey, if you're going to get on here, cause problems, you can't sit on here. We're here to, make sure you guys are safe and don't get, cold or whatever you guys want to do. Maybe in the hot, I don't know. But mainly for me, it's the cold weather. So that's basically it. I know that was a lot, but I wanted to make sure I covered. I don't want to be a person that don't address the issue where it should be addressed at. That's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me get on.
Thank you. Betty, yours is the next hand up.
Good evening to all within the sound of my voice. I'm Betty A. Varner, president of the Soda Ellsworth Black Association. I want to say that I support the comments that were made by Mr. William Davis in regards to the retirees being able to ride the bus free. They're having a lot of hardships now on their benefits because of all of the bankruptcy and all of the things that they are really paying for issues that they had no control over. And so that could be a big help to them. I also want to speak on Brother Cunningham. I always hear people talking about the good work Brother Cunningham does. I have witnessed it myself. Brother Cunningham, Monday through Thursday, every single day, except for when he was in the hospital, I hear him speak about how he's out there in the community helping people, advocating for the people who won't or can't advocate for themselves. He's giving out bus tickets, hand warmers, gloves, hats, He's advocating to the council for those things and for monies to purchase those things. Or they just donated to Brother Cunningham. He had an incident where he was attacked, giving out, trying to help someone who we think has mental problems. My idea is create a community liaison position for Brother Cunningham. Reward him. I heard a lady today said he was a angel, her angel, and how he helped her at a bus stop. Create a job for Brother Cunningham and let him reap some benefits and get a stipend or something for the work that he has been doing for all these years. Thank you for listening to my comment.
Nice.
Thank you. We've had a lot of hands up tonight, so we're only going to do the one round of comments. So, Jadante, you are going to take us home tonight. If you can unmute yourself.
Hello. Sorry about that.
You're all set. Go ahead and make your comment.
So my name is Jadante Smith. I'm a community organizer, activist in the city of Detroit. I'm friends with Cunningham and lots of people who are RTU, Riders, Transit Riders United, TRU. And so I've been riding the bus lately because my car has been down, and I've specifically the MAC bus. I've seen terrible service. The Jefferson bus runs how it's supposed to at certain times. I've seen 2 buses at one time. That was a big jump in time, but it's just very sad to see the same conditions that I experienced 10 plus years ago when I was a child on the buses still now. Actually, 15 years ago. Also, it's very sad to see that there was not officers, but there were a bus driver and a supervisor engaging in that type of activity, and that was not addressed properly, and we had to get it all the way up to the office of the chief investigator. It's very, very sad. I'm going to take a very, very more in-depth look into DDOT and the way it operates, and I'm going to submit a lot of FOIAs. I'm going to get a lot of information about what's happening in DDOT. Thank you.
I didn't mean to cut your time off there. So
yeah, I'm sorry. If you had, I think you had if you had any more, you had like a minute. I apologize for that.
Time taken out, it went from 2 minutes, but
I apologize.
Thank you. I want to say also the amount of people who have to catch DDOT buses and the amount of buses and the frequency that they come needs to be improved. I think I just had a nice conversation with a driver yesterday. She said that the raise was nice, but it could also be more. So I know people pushing for those raises have a good point to push for them. Also, there needs to be more respect from the drivers to the people, the passengers. Also, maybe you guys, I don't know if you can work with the city at some point to have some mental health support for some of the riders, because some of these people are experiencing mental health crises and things like that. And the drivers have to deal with it, which is unfair to them. And it's also unfair to maybe some of the residents because they may have some of these things going on. I know that's a bit much to ask, but I think a lot of the situations that occur on the bus deal with mental health. And it's something that we can look into. We can avoid some of these issues. Also, I love to see the operation of DDOT improve a little bit. I'll have to talk to some of my colleagues who are more in this work than I am. But the transit center, I know it needs a lot of improvement. And I know the age of the buses are very, very old. I've seen some of the same style buses that was riding around on 15 years ago when I was in high school. So I love to see that improve as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I do want to acknowledge that if you left a comment in the chat, we do get those emailed to us, and we will follow up with that. We just had a lot of feedback tonight, which we very much welcome. We love to hear from our regular commenters and new commenters too. So we just want to acknowledge that if we didn't address your concern, we do follow up on that. Ayobami and Mr. Kramer.
I'll just have maybe a little closing comments, but kind of along the lines of some of these last few comments. Agreed with the general idea. All of us agree and are pushing toward improving the frequencies. That's really, if you think about the DDOT Reimagine plan, if you think about the priorities of having quality transit, you want to get certainly to 30-minute or better, and really to 20 or 15 minutes or better is really what what the city and the residents deserve. And I think any transit professional would agree with you that that's the when you get to 15 minutes, you're moving away from having to rely on charting everything out with the schedule. And that's certainly the direction that we want to go. Keeping in mind, if you think about the majority of the complaints and feedback from today, it's not about the schedule not being good enough, but it's about the performance not being good enough. So we can make the schedule that a bus will come every 5 minutes, but if we don't have enough buses out there, then what you're getting is a service you can't rely on. So just generally speaking, that is the direction that we are. Every day is prioritizing getting as much service out there as possible safely to make sure it's safe, reliable, and a good experience. But all of that still is continuing to push, and these contracts are a huge boost, not only on the driver's side, but we had mechanics, maintenance workers. This was the only transit system in the state where the maintenance workers were making less than the drivers. And I think the general consensus on this call would be that the drivers were not making enough, and the maintenance workers were making even less than them, whereas most systems, they make more as a skilled trade. So all of I'm not going to ask anyone to celebrate until we can really see the service get as reliable as we want it to be, and to continue to increase the service. But we've got the new buses, but half of them aren't getting out of the gate. We've got brand new contracts with a much more appropriate wage, but even those things take time to have the effect of recruiting and retaining, really quality and dedicated and courteous employees to join. The vast majority of DUDOT staff are very prideful and have been working despite the fact that they've been kind of paid on the lower end of the scale. So we want to certainly reward and encourage them, and hopefully attract and retain even more folks. And that's what you need to provide the service. So just want to say that from me as the director, is that the comments about we need to improve operations, we need to have more reliable service, and we need to improve the schedules, those are all things that we agree with, and that we're committed to working to improve every day. So I'm saying that out loud again, not expecting that to be an answer that will say everyone says, oh, fine, we won't say anything anymore. But just know that nothing that's being said on this call are things that we do not agree are important, and that we're not committed to improving. And really, you heard it from all the staff today that have chimed in, saying how much we appreciate the feedback, because it's important that you care and that you're taking the time to let us know how we can improve. So I think that I've got some follow-ups. I usually have some chicken scratch I've got on my sheet here. So I know we've got some follow-ups to do. A number of staff have kind of flagged some things, but just know that really appreciate this almost 2 hours that y'all have tuned in and listened to this, and just appreciate it. Looking forward to what we can achieve together. So thank you. Ayabami, take us home.
No, you did. I appreciate everyone. You guys have a wonderful night. Please stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Recording stop.